What's up guys, welcome to another Doom Builder tutorial. In this video I'll be showing you how to write an anti-key cheat script using ACS. One thing to mention, this won't stop the player activating the all keys, weapons and armor cheat, but it won't let the player progress in the map if it's been detected that they've used the cheat. Now, this can be used really as a prank on the player, and it'll most likely catch them by surprise. I'm also aware that all cheats can be disabled in a WAD file, but I feel this is like a more fun and creative approach, and it also punishes the player a bit for trying to cheat. That's all the intro, so let's get into this. So I'm going to go File, I'm going to go Open, and we've got our GZ Doom to UDMF format. You'll need to use this format for this, as it supports ACS scripting. I'm going to go OK on here. To start with, we're going to just do a basic blue door. The player will have to pick up the blue key to open that door. They won't be able to use a cheat just to get through the door. And I'll just show you the setup I've got here. So I've got our player start here. I've set up this basic blue door, and there's our blue key. So we'll grab that blue key and enter the door, and then we'll activate a cheat, and we won't grab the key, and then we'll see what happens. So we're going to go into our script editor, and we will start the scripting process. So first thing we want to always do with ACS is go include z.acs, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. Include z.acs imports the ACS library, and let's get started. So first thing we're going to declare is what's called a Boolean variable. So this can either be true or false. If you're familiar with coding in general, then say this should need no introduction, but I'll go ahead and explain it anyway. So in ACS you just write BOOL for Boolean, and we're gonna call this has blue, and we're gonna assign that false. So basically, when we start the game, the player won't have the blue key by default, so this is going to be set to false, and it will change to true once they have picked it up. Next we're going to write script 1 brackets void, because we're not passing any parameters in this script. It's just going to be just going to have it blank, because we're going to be writing everything within it. And our braces right there. One of the key functions we're going to be using throughout this tutorial is something called check inventory. So on the ZDoom wiki page right now, check inventory checks the inventory of the actor who activated the script for the item specified by inventory item. So we'll just put in, so it only takes one argument. The inventory item in this case will be our blue key card, and to say there's a little example down here, which basically says if the player has a shotgun and if they've got more than 20 shells, it prints a message, use the shotgun to take out those 20 imps. So that is that. I'm going to go back into Doom Builder now, and that's what we're going to be working with currently. So what we need to so first thing I'm going to check is if the player simply doesn't have the card. So we're going to go if brackets exclamation mark check inventory. It gives us our helpful little guide there, and we need to specify the inventory item, which is our blue key card. So we're going to go blue card in double quotes, and close off that function right there. So basically this says if the player doesn't have the blue key card, what are we going to do? Well, quite simply, we are going to put print s colon 2 double quotes, you need a blue key, and semicolon to end that. Print function basically just prints a message on the screen. So if you're familiar with ACS, you'd probably be very familiar with this this function. The S just stands for string, so S colon, and then our string is passed there. You need a blue key. And so that's basically it. So far, yeah, if the player doesn't have a blue key, prints you need a blue key, which we're basically recreating the functionality of a key door really at this point. But we need to check for next though is if the player has a blue key, but did they pick it up legitimately or did they cheat? So I'm going to do else if, and then a new statement, which will be again check inventory blue card. Just gonna close that off there, and then within outside the function, we're going to use what's called a logical and, which is 2 ampersands. Then we're going to write exclamation mark and then has blue. Now this is quoting our boolean has blue value. Basically this statement means that if the player has the blue key card and has blue is false, then we're going to execute the following code. So this will be if the player used the cheat and didn't pick the blue key up legitimately. And then we're going to some more braces here to encase this. So how could we punish the player for cheating? Well, let's do print so we know that they cheated. S colon double quotes, and then we're just going to put you cheated right there. Close that off right there. And I don't think that's quite punishing enough really. So we're going to put a delay of a second, so delay 35 ticks. 35 ticks equals to 1 second delay. And we're going to throw in, let's kill the player for cheating, just kill him off. We can do that in ACS very easily, just by putting damage, thing, brackets, 0, 0 referring to the player, meaning he's just, all his health is just going to be depleted. So there we go. So yeah, so we've got is that they used the cheat, they didn't pick up the blue card. They're going to try and open it. When they try and open the door, it's going to say you cheated, and then it's just going to kill him. And that's that. The only other outcome is that they did pick up the key legitimately, so the door will open. So we just need to finish this off by going else, and we'll use the door open function in ACS, which is again very straightforward. So we're just going to go door underscore open brackets. I haven't set up my tags yet on the door, so we'll give it a tag of 1, and the speed will be 120, which isn't that fast. The light tag can just remain as 0, and semicolon to close that one off. So that's pretty much the gist of the script. One thing we do need to write though is how we detect when the player has picked up the key. So we can easily just do this in a second script. So I'm just going to write script 2 void. Again, we're not passing any arguments. And all we need to do here is go has blue equals true, because we're just changing it from from false to true when they pick it up. So yeah, that's pretty much a basic blue door, and how you can detect whether the player picked up the blue key or not in your map. So we're going to compile this, and we haven't got any errors, so no troubleshooting needed. So we're going to minimize this, and let's just set up the configuration for how we implement the maps in the script. I'm going to firstly give our door a sector tag of 1, and there we go. Sector tag of 1. Gonna highlight our line. This is where the player will trigger this, our script 1, and properties action number is 80 for script execute, and then in our drop down we're gonna go script 1. So when the player presses to use this door, it will trigger our script 1, which is this. And one thing we also need to do is assign the blue key our script number 2. So we're going to go into things mode, right click on blue key, and we're going to go into action. Again, this will be 80, and then we're going to assign that script 2. So basically what will happen is when the player picks up the key, it will trigger script 2, and it will set our boolean has blue to true. They picked it up. So let's go ahead and test this out and see what results we get. So I'm going to launch the game. So firstly, let's just try and open the blue door without anything. So it says, yeah, you need a blue key. Okay, well, let's pick up the blue key. Got the blue key, and there we go, it's opened. Great. Well, what happens if we use so we're going to use IDKFA, which gives the player all keys, all weapons, armor, etc. So IDKFA, so there we go. Got all our keys, you can see in the top right there. So let's see what happens. Oh, well, look at that. We tried to cheat and we couldn't get through the door, and the game killed us. Oh, lovely. Okay, well, so that's a basic blue door. Go out the game here. Before I really wrap things up, let's do something a little bit more complicated, a bit more interesting. We're gonna use this sort of script concept, but we're gonna set up a door that requires all keys. So you need your yellow, blue, red, before you can progress. Because I say, you might have in your map, you might have a door at the end where you need all the keys, or just generally it's a door that players can't get through unless they have all, let's say, 3 of the key cards. You could extend that to 6 to have the skulls as well, or just the skulls, but yeah, anyway, let's do that next. So we're going to come out of this map, and we're going to open up a new one. I've already kind of set this up already in Doom Builder, so I'm going to go into anti-cheat sheets. Yeah, we can save this, sure. So again, we've got GG Doom 2 UDMF map 01. That's fine. So the setup here is a little different. I'm going to go into to show you the setup as per. So yep, player start, checked that out. Here's our door where we need all of our 3 of our keys, and there's our 3 keys. So the idea is that a player will try and open that. It will say you need all of these keys to open the door. They'll pick up all 3 of these, and then it should let them in. If they use the IDKFA cheat, yeah, it won't end very well for them. So what we're going to do is head on into our script editor, and let's begin the all keys anti-cheat script. So this needs no introduction. Include the common.acs. Now, to start this off, we're gonna declare a boolean again, much like our previous script, so bool, but instead we're gonna write has all keys, and I'm gonna set that to false because the player won't have all of the keys when they spawn in the game. We're also going to need another variable to keep track of how many keys the player's picked up in a legitimate way. So we're going to go int for integer key count equals 0, which because they haven't got any keys when they spawn in game. So there's 3 scripts we're going to write in total. Our first script is going to be pretty much more or less identical to our first scripts. So let's get that done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to comment though, and this is going to check if the player has cheated or not. Okay. So we're going to do script 1 void. Let's get our braces open. So the first thing we want to check is, well, if the player doesn't have all 3 of the keys. So we're going to do if key count exclamation mark equals 3. The exclamation mark meaning not, so they don't have. So if key count does not equal 3, then we'll need to basically do we'll need to do another check. So open our parentheses for this if statement, and then we're going to write another if within it, because we need to then check if the player obtained all of the keys and used the IDKFA cheat. So we're going to go if check inventory blue card, and then we're going to use our logical and again, and then I can have a check inventory yellow card, and another logical and check inventory red card, and a final logical and exclamation mark has all keys. Again, the exclamation mark for has all keys meaning if has all keys is false. And that should wrap that up nicely. So I'm going to do our more braces here. So this is where we're going to be printing our outcome if the player has cheated. So again, this is going to be the same as before. So I'm going to put print s colon double quotes you cheated semicolon. I'm going to give it a delay, another 1 second delay of 35 ticks, and then we're going to damage thing 0, meaning the player is killed instantly. And then we don't want this script to continue after the player's dead. So one thing you can do with ACS, which is a very handy is something called ACS_terminate, which basically just stops the running script. So our script is script number 1, so it just takes a couple of arguments, script and map, but all we need to worry about is the script arguments. We're going to have 1 and then 0, meaning that this script will just stop in its tracks. The other outcome for this is that the player doesn't have, it checked that the key count wasn't free. The player doesn't actually have any of the keys anyway, so that means they didn't cheat. So it's just going to print a nice friendly message to go, you need all keys to open this. And the only other outcome is that the player has obtained all the keys in a legitimate way, so therefore the door will open. So we're going to put else door underscore open, and we're going to give up tag of 1 for the door again, 120, 0, same as the previous script there. So yeah, this script basically just checks whether the player has cheated or not, essentially. So all done with that, and it looks very similar to our previous script. We're just gonna compile this so far, and there's no errors, which is all happy days. So the other two scripts are quite straightforward to complete this, really. So we're going to need script 2, and we're going to put actually a comment up here. So what is this going to do? This is going to increase the key count after picking up 1. So increases key count after picking 1 up. And let's void here. And a way to increase a variable in ACS is all we need to do is go write our variable name out, which is key count, and then 2 pluses, which will increment it by 1. So let's say the player has no keys and they picked up the blue card, key count will then equal 1, and so forth. Picked up the yellow, key count equal 2. But we also need to check on our has all keys boolean, so we know that when the player has picked up all of the keys successfully. So I'm going to leave this as it is for now, script 2, but we'll come back to it in just a moment. So our third script is check if player has all the keys after picking 1 up. And we're going to have script 3 again. It's just going to be void. Okay. So we just need to check if the player has all the keys. So we'll do if check inventory blue card and check inventory yellow card and check inventory red card. Okay, that's that. I'm going to scroll down a bit. Scroll down a bit here. And that's all true, they do have all the keys, then we just need to say that has all keys equals true. And that's pretty much it for that script. One final thing we need to do, though, as I mentioned, we need to come back to this script too. We need to run script 3 and do this check every time a key is picked up. Otherwise, or has all keys will always be false. So all we need to do is go, well, I mentioned ACS terminate before. There's also one called ACS execute, which conversely it will run a script. So we'll do ACS underscore execute script number 3, and you've got some other arguments here, but we're just going to set them all to 0, 0. We're not passing any other arguments here, so there we go. So that's just going to run script 3, which basically checks if the player has all the key cards, and then it will set has all keys to true. I'm going to go ahead and compile this, and again, I've got no errors, which is all good. So I think we're all ready to test this out. So I'm going to, but let's not forget we need to set up our configuration here. So I'm just going to do the same as before. I'm going to set this to a tag of 1. I'm going to go into our line where our door is. Give that ACS, yeah, that's all set up actually. 80 script 1, and our keys. Let's select each of our keys, right click, and yeah, we've got script 80, and then there's script 2, which will then increment key count by 1. So yeah, I think that's all ready to go. So let's go ahead and go into game and test this out. Alright, so here's our door. Here's all our keys. So firstly we're just going to check. Okay, yeah, you need all keys to open this. Alright, well, okay, let's grab all the keys. Hey, it's opened. Excellent. Alright, well, let's restart the game. Okay, yeah, we need all keys. Alright, I'm going to do IDKFA. IDKFA. I don't want to get those keys, it's too much effort. So, oh, cheated. Okay, guess I'm dead. So that's it. I say I could grab one blue key and yellow key, and it's like, oh, I can't find the red key. I'm gonna cheat. Oh. I guess I should have found that red key. Now I'm dead. So yeah, that's that. And that pretty much wraps up this video. So it's just a little fun thing you can put in your map, which could catch the player off guard, a little bit more creative than just disabling all the cheats. I mean, they could technically still go into the map in Doom Builder and change or delete the anti-cheat script, but if they really wanted to go that far to cheat, then they might as well just not even play. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it was informative. Say feel free to comment with any questions, and I hope you have a great day.